Good afternoon, guys. Mike here with Wilderness Warriors and Woodsman's Gear on YouTube. Doing a video on a new product that I picked up. I saw a couple of videos on YouTube of this thing, thought it was very interesting, wanted to give it a try. So let's get into it. So what we have here is the ultralight camp stove from Sterno. It is called the Sterno Inferno Cookset. It includes a stove to be used with Sterno fuel and a cup that has a heat sink on it with a lid. So you can see it actually is probably one of the better packaged products from Sterno. Comes in a nice heavy satin finish box, fairly compact in size. Those are the components that's in it. You've got the lid for the pot, the stove itself, you've got the cup, and then the base that fits on the bottom of the stove. This actually holds the can of Sterno, this being the shroud that they lock together. It's got a couple interesting features to it. I'll open this thing up. I'm going to check some weights on it. It comes with a little instruction packet, more or less of things not to do. Comes out of the box just like that. The lid sitting on top. Pull that off. The stove fits conveniently down inside the cup. It also comes with a snuffer to put out your fuel, and the way that that works is you've got a flame cut out on this side that you use to stick your match in, or lighter to light the gel fuel, and then this side here has the slot in which the snuffer can slide in with your pot still on there and then snuff the flame out. So it's pretty convenient that it is flat, just folds up, goes in the slot. You've got legs on this that fold out like that to make it a nice steady base, and then you can drop your cans of fuel. These are designed to use the large cans of fuel. I'm not going to be using the stove in my testing today. It takes about 12.5 minutes to boil 2 cups of water with Sterno fuel. What I want to test is the performance of the pot as I would be using it. Now the pot comes with this plastic lid. This is actually probably the heaviest piece in the whole set. It's a heavy-duty plastic, thick. It has 3 strainer holes in it. The cup itself, it holds a little more than 16 ounces, but you can see the graduations. The top line is right there at 16 ounces, so it holds a little bit more, but it's designed to boil 16 ounces of water. And it's graduated in both milliliters and ounces, all the way down to 8 ounces. It has the bat wing type handles, a little bit of silicone on them. Very nice size, has a little bit of a pour spout indent there. But to me the key feature is the heat sink on the bottom. It's got the fused on ribs underneath, and then the windshield or windscreen around that with vents in it to let it out. Fairly lightweight. I'm going to get some weights on this here. Alright, we are on ounces. The cup alone is 4.5 ounces, or 126 grams. The lid is 2 ounces, or 57 grams. The stove itself is 110 grams, or 3 7/8 ounce. So still fairly light. You do have to calculate the weight of fuel, but you got to do that if you're using alcohol too. So the cup and lid, as I'm going to be using them, are 6.5 ounces. Move that so you can see, or 183 grams, and the whole set together is 10.25 ounces, empty without the fuel. And so that is how it sets when you're using it. The cup just has a little recessed area around the lip there, drops down inside the red portion, sits there nicely. Doesn't hang, comes in and out pretty easy. So there you go. This thing can be found from about $24 to about $30. I paid $24 and a few pennies for it on Amazon. But I like the design, I like the weight of it now that I have it in my hands. Could have done a little better on the lid and done an aluminum lid, but it is what it is. Plastic is durable. and you can see through it, so that's kind of handy. So I'm gonna turn around here and set this thing up on an alcohol stove, and we're going to do some testing with 16 ounces of water. The stove I'm going to be using today is a modified Fancy Feast. This one is modified for pots with the heat shield on the bottom, or heat sinks on the bottom, to where this is a full-size tomato paste can in there. Not really going to measure anything out here, just going to pour some fuel in. Give that a minute to soak in, and going to pour in my water. I've got 16 ounces of tap water. I'll get a temp here on it in a second. Alright, so it's looking like we're at 71 degrees on the water itself. I wish there was a better way I could do this. Let me see. Here we go. I'm going to fashion this around it. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to pull the wings out. I'm going to light the stove. Give that a second to come up. And set that down on there and start my stopwatch. Let's see. So it is climbing in temperature rapidly. Already up to 93. It's 1 minute. Center the pot a little better. Four minutes, 188 degrees. Four minutes and 58 seconds. That was a few seconds late, so 4 minutes and 56 seconds. Handles are warm but touchable. So there you have it. We had 4 minutes and 56 seconds from 71 degrees to 212 degrees, and this thing was rip-roaring on the boil. That pot was jumping around. Still very stable, even though it was on just the little 1 7/8" or 2-inch diameter pot there, or can. I'll mess with that right this minute. Again, the handle stayed very cool enough to touch and not ever get burned. Like, you could feel that they were heated, but I think that was more transfer from here. There was no flames coming out the vents, so the heat sink did a really good job with that. And I think for the weight and size of this cup and the fact that it matches up perfectly for the Mountain House meals that I normally use, this is probably going to be the pot that I use for a while, at least for a couple of months testing anyway, because I really like the way it works. So leave comments down below if you like it, and if you have any suggestions or anything, you can leave those down there too. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.